All right. What's up, YouTube? I really want to apologize, and I'm gonna say this: when we apologize, the apology really goes out to ourselves. I apologize to myself. I'm trying to learn some things, and what I'm trying to learn, I really strongly need a platform where I'm able to share my thoughts and my opinions, and share media to do that. Obviously, on YouTube, I'm not aware of the right way to do that because I keep getting issues with my content. But there are lots of channels that do. But it's really important to me. The topics that I discuss are so important to me. Um, so what I was saying before, and I went ahead and deleted the stream just in case. I just don't want any problems. But what I was trying to say before um, is that I wanted to start a virtual movie and discussion club. I don't know where else to do this. I want to make it so that I'm actually able to stream the movie and we watch the movie together, and then afterwards have a good discussion about it. I haven't seen anybody do a whole movie before, but that's what I want to do. If you guys know of any other social media platforms where I'm able to do that and able to do it so that you guys can see it clearly, I'd appreciate it. I really would. I thought about trying to integrate Zoom into it. Maybe, but just post a link for Zoom, and then whoever wants to can come visit in Zoom. Because these are things that people go through, and a lot of people don't understand. You won't understand it unless you've been through it specifically yourself. I love Jamie Foxx. He does a great job. He's experienced quite a few things in life, so he gets in there. All the movies he's in is great. All the music he does is great. He is just phenomenal. So the movie is called The Soloist, and the way that I came across it is on YouTube. You can watch it free on YouTube, you guys. Okay. What caught my eye, and the reason I came to it because last night I went out to El Cazador. It's not my favorite place. I like it for lunch and lunch only because the lunch specials are so good. I went for dinner. The food quality is not as good as La Jalisco, which I went to last night. And the service all around at La Jalisco, I enjoyed a lot better. You know what I'm saying? At El Cazador, I had a waitress. She was Caucasian, but she gave really good service too. I have a certain feeling that maybe there's a little something else going on there, but she gave good service. Um, but yeah, you guys. So The Soloist. I came home last night, and yeah, do I have other stuff to do? You guys know I always have stuff to do. We all do. Um, but I put it on a back burner. I said I was going to relax and just watch a movie. So this is the one that I came across, and it actually hit on a lot of the topics I'm interested in. This particular movie hit on homelessness, mental health awareness, bullying, and the importance of friendship. And the movie, I think, really depicted things the way that they really are. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole movie fully. For those of you guys that don't know, I stream on POF too. Again, I'm not there for dating. I'm there because I want to find, I'm trying, I hate the word desperate, but I'm trying desperately to find a place to be able to stream and be able to share information and have open discussions about diversity, about inclusion, and about awareness. I have my own website. I'm not real sure how to create my own completely own streaming thing there. I have to link other streams to it, but I have to find a platform that will allow me to do that because this is a need for me. And at 46 years old, I can't play no games because I don't have a lot of time. I want to really, really, share my thoughts, my feelings, my opinions, my experiences on this topic. And I want to be able to provide a platform for others to do so in the same manner. And other topics that I know for sure I can't talk about on here is about sexuality and sexual addictions and people have. Those need to be talked about as well. There are people that really going through, and you seeing more and more folks being abused. And just this morning in the POF stream that I had, someone was really inappropriate, and I wish, and I'm going to start recording everything, I wish that it was recorded because I really want someone to see the whole interaction. It's so important. Not because it's important, because we need to see that. We need to see that because people go through that. I've been on other people's lives and seen the same thing, and it needs to be addressed. And not only for the sake and the health of those that are producing the lives, but also for the health of those that are behaving that way. They have some issues that they are going through, and we have to build a bridge and bridge ourselves together as a community to help each other, versus just throwing people away. You know what I'm saying? But you do what you got to do. I didn't get a chance to watch the movie fully because I was focused on other stuff. The other thing I wanted to mention to you, if you guys end up on POF or other places like that, just for the sole purpose, like I said, of trying to communicate information solely to live and that type of thing, don't favorite people just because they ask you to favorite, because I don't know enough about POF to find how to unfavorite them. I can't. When you find the favorites, especially if you were in a live stream and you favorited someone, the only way they show up is if they have a live stream going on. So then also, whoever you favorite and like, all those things, to me, it's a representation of you. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody's profile says that, they're into all this lascivious stuff and you favorited them because they favorited you, you just favorited it back, then if somebody sees that, or they could, say that you were whatever. But I guess, you can't control what everybody says. But yeah, but anyhow, so going on about this movie, and I'm going to hit on it real quick because I feel like I just don't want to waste, the time that I put into even wanting to think about this stream. But again, you guys, if you know of places where we're able to, have a movie night online, I'd really appreciate it. And thank God, my graciousness out to YouTube for allowing me to post this, because I wasn't too sure. But either way, I don't have enough to get hours of viewer time to get remonetized anyway. So it'll probably be a good 6 to 8 months anyhow. Another tip that I'm going to tell you about YouTube and things like that, if you guys, like for me, I got on because, again, I wanted to share a story, and it was so raw. It was like every day I was posting stuff, because that's when I was going through this legal situation and the homeless thing, and I really wanted people to know, who I was. And, half the stuff that I couldn't put, when you're in those different places, like he showed that place, that the homeless shelter, whatever, the lamp, a lot of them are just like that. It's people just crawling outside. And these are places that are, for those places that are not long-term, because they're carrying their luggage there and they're carrying their luggage back. And certain instances, like where he was saying the guy had made this big date for some orchestra thing, and I didn't get a chance to really focus on that because, again, like I said, my focus was a few places. But that's why I want to have a virtual movie and discussion club night where we can get together and watch the movie. So that's all it is. We're getting together, and that's the thing. We're getting together as a family of friends and watching these things and having an open, productive discussion about it, and that's what it's all about. If you go to my website, theartofgoodincorporated.com, that's the thing. It's about diversity, inclusion, and awareness, and I don't really talk about it, advertise it, because I'm so scared that people are going to shoot it down and take it down, but you can't be, you really can't be anymore, because you need the support. You need to put it out there. And just like, the situation with this morning, people are going to say things that are not good or nice, but the thing is, you learn from that. You learn to build from that. You build your strength from that. Because you got to get out there, I had a quote of the day. I don't even know if I had a chance to post it because I don't have time for a lot of stuff, but a quote of the day about, the ship, and this is something that someone else put out there, but a ship, that stays in its harbor is safe, but it never gets anywhere. I'm 46 years old, haven't gotten where I want to be because I've been safe. I got to put myself out there. I got to do it, got to do it, no choice. But I have other things to do today, so I'm going to do this real quick. I really need to, I hope this doesn't get banned or nothing, but I really need to do these other things. So anyhow, what I noticed about this movie, there was a lot of depiction of peoples that were ranting and rambling and going on and on and on. And I can see how that really, and this is now from the outside looking in because I'm watching a movie and I'm watching other people do it, right? So I can see how this can be something that's really specific to the homeless community, and that how other people may see it as a mental health awareness or issue or that type of thing. I remember my first exposure to that. I remember being in, where was I? I think it was downtown Fort Lauderdale. I was in downtown Fort Lauderdale. Originally, this whole legal thing started in Miami, but as time progressed, you move kind of upward. But because it long lasted, and I didn't want to get, quote unquote, get my life together until all of this was over, because so I lost like 10, 15 years without being imprisoned or anything like that. But I lost it because I didn't want a situation where I build all this and then somebody can come and just take it away from you. Because and I'm talking about victims of the criminal justice system now, because if you're ever, and this movie is not about a victim of the criminal justice system, but it's about homelessness, and I'm telling about my experience. So if you're ever in that situation, especially if you're a good person, it's harder. Because like I said, for me, I was, I remember 15 years old, like I said, the first job I worked at, this young man that worked there, I grew up in the projects after my parents got divorced. And, if you've ever grew up in the projects in the 80s or whatever like that, you understand that basically, in a way, you're kind of like family, even though you're not close like that, just because you're in the same boat. You know what I'm saying? And I remember he stopped everything. I was talking to a customer. He stopped everything he was doing. His jaw just dropped. And I remember he had light eyes and light skin, and his eyes just glowed, and he just looked. And he didn't say this to anyone in particular, but I heard it. It was just him and I and that customer there. Customer wasn't paying attention, but my ears heard it. He didn't really mean for it to hear it, but he said it out loud inadvertently. His mouth literally dropped. He was only like 15 at the time, right? I was probably 14. His mouth dropped, and he said, "She's not going to make it. She's too nice. She's not going to make it." And he had a sound of concern in his voice at 15 years old. So at 15 years old, whoever were his caretakers and people that looked over him, they had already taught him something that I had no awareness of. Later on, another one of the boys in the projects when I graduated from high school, they all kind of took me out to dinner. Well, not they all, him. We went to dinner. And one of the dinners, I went with some other friends on other nights. But I had friends at one time. Amazing. But he said to me, he says, you can't be nice and you can be honest and you can be nice, but you can't be them at the same time. He says you can be mean and you can be honest, or you can be nice and not honest, but you can't be nice and honest because you're not going to make it in this world. I am both of those things. I am a nice, kind person. I'm also honest to a fault. Now, in my older years, what I've learned and developed is I know how to tell boundaries. I have no problem. And that was what happened with that legal situation. I had boundaries. It came to the point where I said, okay, well, look, I'm noticing these things. I documented it all. I'm not in agreement with that. By Friday, I need to make sure that I have a real title because people are stabbing me in the back. They think I'm trying to take their job, or that's why I'm here. And I also need to know who I report to because people are also stabbing me in the back for that because they think that I'm really trying to take their job. And then I had a list of like probably 35 other things that needed to be addressed that I put out and things that I could do because they were like, just do whatever you want to do, And I'm going to tell you something that one of my previous employers told me. If it doesn't feel right, something's wrong, If it doesn't make sense, something's wrong. Something was wrong, To this day, I still don't know particularly what it is, but people around, told me what they thought it was, which probably was true, but my heart and mind won't let me think that way because that's not the type of person that I am. I was just like, oh, they didn't know what would happen. That's why they did it. And somebody said, no, they knew. They just didn't care. Which now, it may be true. But anyhow, focusing on this movie, The Soloist, the title of the name, first of all, caught me because y'all know I'm a loner. So I thought The Soloist, But it turns out The Soloist is in reference to the role that Jamie Foxx plays. This young man plays the cello, that's where he started. And then he started being very proficient at other musical instruments when he became homeless. Of course, I'm thinking because it's lighter, right? Like I said, in the movie, it kind of portrays a lot of ranting, rambling, and so forth and so on. And like I said, I can see how that relates to the homeless population. And I started talking about Fort Lauderdale, where I first experienced this. I was in a library, and there was a white woman that looked kind of like the white woman that was at the lamp that they were at, an older white woman. She was sitting at a table. And I'm going to tell you about self-esteem because I was sitting at the library table by myself looking through books or whatever, right? And the lady came and sat by me. And the first feeling that I got, my heart just swelled up because you don't have anybody. You don't have any friends. You don't have any family. So the fact that this person came to sit by you warmed my heart. There is somebody that wants to be within touching distance of me. There is somebody who feels that my presence would somehow be an asset to them. So they came to sit by me. You know, that is how I felt about it. When you come across people that are homeless, you're going to find that a lot of homeless people, they cower to people. Again, you've been through so much and you just want to be appreciated and loved and respected, right? I remember after the homeless situation, I went to a dentist or a doctor somewhere, probably for a drug test, and there was a woman, and I could tell she was homeless. Why? Because she opened the door for me. She waited for me to pass through the door, and nobody ever does that for me. Nobody. And for some reason, she thought that I was above her because she was cowering to me, towards me. And I wanted to just say, no, don't do that. I love you. And that's what it is. So when you see people that are, quote unquote, overly kind, when you see people that go out of their way, it's because of that. I remember when the legal situation, and I didn't understand this at first. That's why I say God really chastises those that he loves, right? Because I remember after when the legal situation first occurred, I went to eat, and I probably should post like whatever my topic is on here because it's going to be ranting and rambling like I was talking about on here. But I remember when the legal situation first occurred, I went to, I think it was Pollo Tropical, right? And I was sitting there and I was having my lunch or whatever, and there were people that were at my former job that was, there too. And I remember as I was eating, a homeless man, and I used to hate that too, like people just assuming folks are homeless because, before homeless, I understood, that person's homeless. But after homeless, it's kind of hard because I think John Witherspoon said, he was like, once homeless, always homeless, because part of you don't want, it's a part of you, you don't want to portray yourself as ever being ashamed. You don't ever want to portray yourself as, that's a part of your experience. It was rich, it was a rich experience for me. But after homelessness, I understood why I cringe when people make that assumption, because you're not necessarily homeless, but you still carry a lot of the traits, and people think that when they see you, because you may have spent so much time before being homeless, trying to pretend to be homeless or look homeless so that these people in these different places will give you grace, especially if you're in a legal situation, because they think that you're too good and all this. And those people, a lot of them don't have a lot of education. It doesn't matter if you're a lawyer. Some of those people, I'm going to have to tell you, they shouldn't have been doing what they were doing. And I remember saying to myself, like, I would try to befriend some of the other lawyers. I say other because at some point I was representing myself, but trying to befriend the lawyers. And I was telling them, why are these people still practicing? They should not be practicing. They've made so many mistakes, and in a way that could impact somebody's life forever, And then you start to realize, just because, this person has this job or this title, it means absolutely nothing. People have their jobs and titles for reasons. And a lot of times, it's not based on knowledge, At the very best, it will be based on charisma, that they're a good person, easy to get along with. But people can be good people and easy to get along with select persons in a manipulative way, But, yeah, so that lady that was sitting at the table in the library, as I was sitting there feeling so proud that someone came to, and I've had many situations like that where I was proud that someone even came in contact with me, but she started, first I thought she was just reading out loud. It was like occasional, I guess she got comfortable, occasional talking out loud. Then it came to the point where I thought, okay, maybe she's reading. But then it was like an hour had passed, and I was like, ma'am, you realize you're talking to yourself, right? And I wasn't being smart, but with the innocence, I was 30 something, but with the innocence that I had, I was like, maybe she just doesn't realize that she's talking to herself, so I need to let her know she's talking to herself. And when I said that, people that were around me were like, people were like, like, oh my God, that was rude. But no, if she didn't know, I would needed to tell her, and she stopped. And that's the thing though, it's the thing of doing something out of love and not. But now, looking back, that might have been her way of self-helping and soothing. And just as much as I was impressed that she came to sit beside me, maybe she was impressed that I had the energy and the vibe to seem like I appreciated her coming to sit beside me. Wonderful. That's the only instance I had with somebody else rambling, because usually I stayed away. Like you saw that thing where they went to Lamp and it was just tens of all these people, just madness. I stay away from stuff like that. I can't do it, you know. And that's what I'm gonna say too about homelessness. When you're going to help the homeless, yeah, if you're going to drop off food and stuff, it's good to go to places like that that's, you know, packed with homeless people, because you're gonna be able to distribute the most food. But keep your eyes and ears open, people, for homeless people that are loners and that are out there. Those people you can give a personal touch to. They have a different mindset, you know. Um, invite them to, hey, how you doing? Is it okay if I give you my number? And these days you can make a Google Voice number, whatever. And, maybe once a week, we connect and have lunch at McDonald's or, some other cheap place where there's a dollar menu. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be extravagant. It's whatever you can afford. But the most valuable thing that you're giving is your time. Give your time. And again, I posted a poll or questionnaire in regards to, should you, videotape and record your acts of kindness, and if the person agrees, yeah, but don't just do that without their permission. You put people in situations where, maybe they have a homeless sleeping situation where they sleep somewhere, where you're opening up where they sleep or whatever to other people to be attacked, for it's the privilege of doing that to be taken away, or someone else to steal their spot. We have to show some type of discretion, just like, it's intellectual property is what you're doing. And that was the legal thing, by the way, the intellectual property, guys. So yeah. And also what I noticed too about watching that movie is how Jamie Foxx saw beauty in everything. I have that trait too, beauty in everything, and that's something I learned from my mom, maybe from being in a different culture, but also it's a healing thing. When you're too busy appreciating the beautiful things in life, you don't have time to focus on the negative. And the other thing was that he was sharing things about him that was real, like things just in passing. When this guy started talking with that reporter, he was talking with him just, happy to be talking. And this is another trait of homeless people. They're happy to speak to quote unquote normal people. If you don't appear to be homeless, any homeless person, whether they're alpha homeless or whatever kind of homeless, if you appear to be a normal, quote unquote normal person with a regular job, they're so happy to speak to you. Again, it feels like an upgrade. It feels like they're being brought back into the realm of regular society, because homelessness, you're on the outskirts. You're like, they look at you as a leper somewhere, attaching yourself to society that you shouldn't be. But when a person that is a quote unquote average person has a job and whatever, and they're talking to these people, they feel honored and privileged. And so they share. And the thing about it is, a lot of people, homeless people, get exploited like that, So Jamie Foxx, the character Jamie Foxx portrayed, shared that he went to Juilliard, That's just something he shared. I share all my business all the time. I will tell you, I grew up in Hampton, Virginia. I went to Hampton High School, 89 to 93. I started out working with the Summer Youth Employment Training Program at the Hampton Redevelopment Housing Authority. Then I went to the Hampton Department of Social Services. And then from there, I had some volunteer and enrichment tutoring programs that I had at the Newport News Pro Bailey Library. This is all the 80s, early 90s. And then when I graduated high school, I went to Virginia Commonwealth University. And that's what he was sharing. He didn't share as much as I just did in that little piece. But I could share my whole life. I could tell you my whole life story. And I'm happy to do it because I love my life, And I think the fact that no one else sees it, it makes it that much more richer for me. So he was sharing, that he went to Juilliard, And because he did that, the reporter was just trying to get information. He immediately went home and called up Juilliard. Hey, do you have this person as a graduate there? The person said no, right? So now it seems like that guy lied. He didn't lie. He did go to Juilliard. So I'm, whoever called VCU, it was like, hey, did you have such and such and such? But then later on, that person realized, oh, they made a mistake. No, he did go here, And so it discredits, you even more. Just like some people say black people are discredited just for being black or were, homeless people just that too, I remember, just so many times, and the word for today is gaslight. So many times when things like that happen, you have people that you think that you love and care about, or that you think genuinely care about you, or at least have the same sense of worth that you have. And I can go on forever about this, but really, I can't because I got other stuff to do. But if you get a chance, long story short, check out the movie The Soloist with Jamie Foxx and Robert Downey Jr. If you also get a chance, please like, comment, and subscribe. My birthday is December 15th. If you want to show love and drop $1, nothing more than that. If you drop more than $1, that's too much. $1 just shows, hey, I like you and I support you. But I'm not going to mention it anymore because I always have it on the screen now so people know. But also, like, comment, subscribe. Watch a video all the way through. Let it play in the background. When I used to have my longer videos, like I said, the other tip I was trying to tell you is that if you do YouTube or have done it in the past, don't delete your stuff, because my stuff was all raw and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to try to start over, because when you do that, you're also deleting the view hours of your channel, and you have to have a certain number of view hours in order to monetize, right? So don't do that. Don't ever erase your history, either, for the intention of being able to be monetizable, or, for the intention of erasing your history. I mean, I love every bit of me. I love, if I could tell my whole story about my whole life, I would. To me, it's the most beautiful. I appreciate each and every moment of it. And I continue to, I continue to. But yeah, check the movie out. Watch it for yourself. If you have your own comments, please share them. Own experiences, please share them as well. I'm going to move on to the next segment of my day, which is getting shit done. I have to go grocery shopping because I don't have any groceries. I've gone out to eat for the past 2 days. And last night wasn't so pleasing. I went because it's closer. If I get a chance, and I won't get a chance, and I took my camera with me so I can video retape it. If I get a chance, I'll post it. If not, just know that I went out last night. It was fine. But if you're ever in Valdosta, Georgia, I prefer La Jalisco for dinner. If you're in that Ashley Street area, service is really good. It looks a little weird because the outside patio has these plastic things, but I think the reason why is because their inside dining is not large, and because their inside dining is not large, just in case it gets cooler, they have those up to kind of block cold. Is what I think is really going on. But I had a great time. The waitstaff was really good. The girl that really made my day was the waitress with the cornrows. I don't think it's Mexican. I think it might be Brazilian or something like that. I'm not sure. The next time I go, I'll ask. I'll allow myself one more time to go, just so that I can ask them what kind of place it was. Number 2 for me would be El Cazador, just because the quality of food, in my opinion, is not so great. Hey, Bronson Banker. Oh, why? Okay, you're trying to give me some love. Okay, I appreciate that. And I feel a certain type of way about that, too. I see what you're doing, and I appreciate it. London Bully, I love you. But I appreciate that. I like honesty. I know people do things to help out in different ways. But the reason I say this is because this is going back to the legal thing. And I think, and it's kind of ironic to me, I think this place that I recently was at, I think that guy may have been somebody that worked with me and Get Shit Down section of your day. Yeah, I got to get shit done. I do. I really do. And it's nothing but grocery shopping, which I need to do. Because like I said, in the past 2 days, I spent $30, which probably isn't a big deal to anybody. But it's a big deal to me because that could have been $30 worth of groceries, which broke down to X amount of 10-pound bags of potatoes, butter, all that stuff that I need. So I'm going to do that. But if you get a chance, and thank you for your support, London, by commenting. You can also let the rambling and ranting play in the background, without stopping it. But please watch this movie. Quick question for you, if you don't mind me asking, London, have you ever been homeless? Have you ever been a victim of the criminal justice system? Have you ever been in a domestic abuse situation where it's you abusing someone or someone abusing you? It could be parents, sexual assault, any of that. Have you ever been bullied? And it could be peer bullying, adult bullying, or corporate bullying. Have you ever had mental health issues? And mental health is a real strong word. I don't really like it. But basically what mental health boils down to is your emotional health. Have you ever had situations that really affected you strongly emotionally? If you don't mind sharing that, I'd appreciate it. And you can always comment when I leave here. I'm getting out of here, but I'll be right back with my productivity screen up because I'm going to be working on grocery shopping. That's what I'm going to do. I love you, London. Thank you so much for stopping by and making my day. I appreciate that. Bye for now. I guess I'll try. Should I try to read through all of this? No, there's a whole lot here. I have like 3 pages worth of stuff, and I don't have 3 pages worth of time. So if you get a chance, watch the movie. Is what I'm saying. Comment, subscribe, share, all that stuff. And if you do something that's like inflated numbers, like double accounts and double comments, and don't let me know about it because I feel like it's dishonest, and I have this honesty, this big thing with honesty. But anyways, I love you guys. I'm gonna hop out of here, and then we're coming back with the productivity screen. So if you got stuff that you got to do today too, whether it's cooking, cleaning, grocery shopping, paying bills, whatever it is that you need to do, looking through your email, looking for funding for your businesses or just to pay your bills, come back and join me for that. That'll be in a few. And thanks again, London. I can't